Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. And one of the greatest bachelorettes of all time, Hannah Brown, has now released or is releasing a podcast. She's launching a podcast, and it's one that everybody has been asking for. What's that? Oh, I read it wrong. Nobody's asking for. Okay, no, but we're really happy and excited for Hannah Brown, and good for her. Give that podcast a 5-star review if you like it. Former Bachelorette star Hannah Brown launches a Sirius XM podcast, but then it's like also on Stitcher. Which is it? There's too many producers, too many cooks are in the kitchen, if you will. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm the only cook in my kitchen. And speaking of kitchen, I actually have a new sponsor on the podcast this week that is off. And again, they're not sponsoring me here, so I'm not promoting it here. I'm just telling you, they're offering my listeners, my power listeners, 16, that's right, 16, like 15 plus 1, 16 free meals if you sign up. I had one last night. You know what? I'll just show it to you guys. I'll show it to you guys, and then we'll get to Hannah Brown here. But if I go over here to my YouTube, you can see I actually made like a Tuscan meatball. Here it is, me opening the box. Check it out. Okay, HelloFresh. And again, they're not a sponsor here. I'm telling you, they're not paying me to promote this here, but I wanted to share it with you because it's a really good deal. A new sponsor for the podcast this week, and they just sent me a whole box of food. They pack it in like this cooler. Sesame soy pork roll, creamy Tuscan spaghetti. So as it works, you've probably seen it before. You open it up and it's whatever. Okay, so I have to let you guys know, HelloFresh is not sponsoring my Instagram. Not a sponsor here. My podcast. But I just whipped together what is it even called? Okay, so anyway, the meatballs were good is the point. Anyway, you can go check that out. 16 free meals, why not? Okay, let's get to the story. Better Tomorrow with Hannah Brown. We started to cover this yesterday on Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast, as it came out, but she has released some Instagram stories we'll cover. Hannah Brown said, one of my biggest goals in this season of life. I'm so sick of white women referring to their life as seasons. You know what I mean? Maybe other women are doing it, but I only feel comfortable exposing the white women that are doing it. What season is it for you? Leave a comment. Is it the season where you watch my content and give me a like and follow me on Patreon? So this is me putting it all out there on my new podcast, Better Tomorrow. I am so honored to hold this space for all of us to learn and grow together. Trailer is now available wherever you get your podcast. It launches July 19th. And we'll have, look, I'm gonna give you. I think I've been kind to Hannah Brown. I give her a hard time because I think she fell up the ladder. Like, she's so successful. You know, she banging a guy in a windmill. Again, that's no slut shaming. Good on her, right? Good on her. I mean, she was sex positive in a time when people weren't exactly doing that. I mean, Caitlin Bristow had already, but you know, as a religious person, she was like, Jesus doesn't care if I bang a guy in a yurt, or she doesn't care if I talk about it on my podcast, whatever, right? Jesus is a he or a she. I don't know anymore, right? Okay. But either way, Hannah Brown's got it going on. Here's the preview. Hey, we're just giving her free publicity here. You're welcome, Hannah. Here's the preview for her show. Go.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Better Tomorrow with Hannah Brown.
Hey, y'all.
I am so excited to have this space to build true community as we dive into the big questions like, am I better today than I was yesterday? And
was there air conditioning in the windmill? You know,
how can I be better tomorrow? My absolute favorite thing to do is have a good heart talk with my best friends. And yeah, that's you. We'll discuss topics like relationships and love, self-care, faith, mental health and wellness, with a range of guests, including top experts, artists, and entrepreneurs, and honestly, sometimes just people that I want to chat with. I'm also on the journey, so I won't have all the answers, but I do hope to provide raw, unfiltered takeaways and revelations that you also can relate to. This is for you and me. We can make it whatever we want it to be. Did that just rhyme? Let's go for it. We'll be better tomorrow. Better Tomorrow begins July 19th. Listen wherever you get your podcast, and don't forget to follow the show so you don't miss an episode.
You know, as far as branding goes, Better Tomorrow is a pretty good name. When you're famous, or at least have a large Instagram or influencer following, you don't have to have the podcast spell out what it is. Like my show, it's Bachelor Rush Hour. It pretty much spells out Bachelor Talk on the Rush Hour, Bachelor Nation News. But when you're Hannah Brown, you can just say Better Tomorrow, and you can make a nice merch, and, oh, I'm part of the BT community. I don't know, whatever they're going to do, right? So either way, it's going to be a hit. It's going to take off. Whether or not she can keep her audience will be up to her. My guess is she's going to realize, like, look, if you want to make it in the non-Bachelor world, you need to find success by not talking about Bachelor at all. But also, I don't blame her if she does. I mean, for a Dave Neal show, for the Driving with Dave, I'm interviewing someone tomorrow who's got nothing to do with the Bachelor world. He's a model and comedian from Germany. He's a friend of mine. He's really interesting, and it's going to be a fascinating conversation. The following week, you'll get Dr. Dan Strakowski talking about Bachelor, or Courtney Robertson, or Caitlin Bristow, whoever it is, right? So I'm going to be giving people Bachelor content to reel them in, but also non-Bachelor content for those that want to stick around. My guess is Hannah will do something similar. Let's go to her Instagram story and see what she has to say about the roll tide of her new trailer, or her new podcast here. She says, "Thanks y'all so much for all the support and kind words, blah, 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 space, community, fostering, whatever."
Okay, guys. It's out. Thank y'all for so much love and support. As with a lot of things,
she's so charming, isn't she? I mean, she really is. Like, how can you not like her? She's so charming.
It takes a lot of time to get to even this point of announcing it and to start. And I'm trying to assess how I feel right now. I'm obviously so excited.
Hannah Brown, I held space for you in my community with Driving with Dave, but you never responded. Now, I emailed her agents and DM'd her or whatever, but she's got a big following. I'm sure it got lost in the mail.
Sorry, I'm running late as usual. I'm obviously so excited because I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to build the community. I know that I enjoy it and we'll just get more comfortable. But whenever you start something new, it can be really scary. And I talked about this in the first podcast episode. I'm scared of failure.
Nice car.
And it's something new, and there's always a risk in that. And if you guys will like it, or if you'll be disappointed, or if I will exceed your expectations, like where the expectations are. I felt the same way with my book. I'm so late for my next appointment, and I'm running out of fuel. I will be back to finish my thought. I can't make this stuff up. My phone died on the way to the place I've never been before. Almost ran out of gas. Had 4 miles left. But what I was saying about the book is, with my book, when it was announced, the time in between that and it actually being for people was really hard for me. And I think it's the same thing with this, because it's such a vulnerable space, because you have nothing to show. You don't know who's going to love it, who's not. And I'm just ready for those who are going to be a part of this community, for us to
save space,
grow together, make this what we want to be
in this season of our lives,
what we want it to be. So yeah, overall super excited, but that's just it's okay to have multiple emotions at one time.
True. She said it's okay to have multiple emotions at one time. Look, yeah, it's okay to be scared of failure. Just don't let that dictate you who you are on the podcast. I don't think it will. But some people, I've heard this from Bachelor podcasters. Some people spend hours producing their Bachelor shows, and I'm like, are we doing that with podcasting? I thought we just talked. And had fun. You don't need perfection is the enemy of good, Hannah Brown. Perfection is the enemy of good. Don't be afraid of failure. Take risks. Be authentic to who you are, and your audience will find you for sure. So there she is, getting her hair did, as they say. She's fresh. And then anything else from her? Dog. Okay, so just dog stuff. Okay, yeah, that's what we like. That's what we like on our page: dog stuff and podcast stuff. So she'll inevitably get comments from people saying, "Oh, just what the world needs is another podcast." Good. I already said that too. And that's the funny thing is, yes, there are so many podcasts out there, but people keep listening. We, work alone. We work in weird, isolated environments. Sometimes you just want to have a friend for your dog walk. Sometimes you just want to have a friend. I respect and appreciate you guys that have chosen me for your community. Thank you so much for saving space for me in this season of our lives, Bachelor Rush Hour, the afternoon podcast. We will, of course, be covering Hannah Brown's podcast when she says things that we feel notable. And if you want to go over there and check that out, go check it out. I'll give you my honest opinion, production quality-wise, what I think about it. I didn't see any mention of her starting a YouTube channel. I think it's a huge failure to not have the YouTube platform in your podcasting repertoire, because for short form content and things like that, that's what you need. Now, like I said, her podcast is on SiriusXM or produced by SiriusXM, and also involves Spotify, what's Stitcher? I think Stitcher's actually been bought by SiriusXM. I don't know. That's how I get paid somehow by SiriusXM for my podcast. I have no idea how, but when the check comes in, that's all that I care about. But I do think the big concern I have with people like Hannah Brown is how many people are going to try to get their hands on this. Does her talent agent get 10%? Does she have a legal team? The publicist? Like, there's a lot of moving parts. And I know this because I met Hannah Brown, and I interviewed her, and we did a Q&A at the Hollywood Improv for an event a year and a half ago. And she's got a team. They're the agent, and it's not her fault. It's that she's got a brand, so a lot of people are going to want to attach themselves to that. My suggestion, and it's probably too late, is just make it about you. Learn how to have maybe one assistant, do it yourself, and then you don't have as many mouths to feed, and you don't have to worry about living up to expectations. It's not performing to the level it's like, shut it. It's a podcast. It's audio. It's radio. But anyway, good luck to you, Hannah Brown. We can't wait to listen to it. We can wait, but we will check it out when it comes out, and more coming to you right after this.